All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to InkRadio podcast. And just before we begin, I just want to say, give some Nine chants for Nine. He's been gifted a sub of his own face, so everyone needs to spam it.
I'm doing it right now. How many can I do before it auto bans me?
We don't auto ban, so you just max that out.
Perfect.
We promote using our subs in our chat, using our emotes in our chat. So go crazy. All right, so on the show today, we do have a special guest. I want to point out for the first time in history, I mean, it's only been like a year we're running, so I don't want to like make this huge thing, but we have a real live girl on the show. It's impressive, guys. You guys asked for diversity, and we took that to heart. So we got Ebz on the show from Vitamin Sea, one of the up-and-coming teams. They did pretty well in the Inkling Open. Ebz, I know you didn't play because you're from Sweden, but give yourself a shout, say hi, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Ebz, and I play on Vitamin Sea, mostly blasters and sloshers. I'm back row. And other than that, I work as a nurse in Sweden, and I have a messed up sleeping schedule, and that's why I can play with my friends in America. So it works out, but probably not the healthiest.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I've seen you in BNS at like 8 o'clock at night our time. So
I have played until 7 a.m. my time in BNS before. I didn't play my best, but it was a lot of fun. I really like BNS, so I wanted to do it anyway.
All right. And
yeah.
How's it going, everyone else?
Well, we are officially now both subbed to this channel. And we're also both subbed to Sendo, not because we did anything, but because people have been gifting Kendall and I subs all day. So thank you to everyone who has done that. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's a great day.
Nine makes himself look like he's just rolling in dough, but secretly he's just been gifted everything.
That's not far from the mark.
No, it's not.
How about you, Kendall? How's it going?
Yo, everything's going good right now, man. It's been a dope week. Don't die, man. You good?
Oh.
I know those protein shakes are kind of chalky. It's all right, man.
You made me laugh while I was drinking, you jerk. Oh God.
I'm good though.
Good. I'm doing pretty well myself. You just reminded me of something, Nine. Have you guys seen Agretsuko? It was on Netflix. It's like 15-minute episodes of a raccoon, Sanrio character. Okay, no. Guess not.
No.
Dude, it's everywhere on the internet. Twitter blows up about it, man.
Wait. No. I have seen it.
The death metal raccoon.
Yes, I have.
Oh, not raccoon, red panda.
I didn't know the name of it, but
yeah.
I know what that is.
So there's this dude, he's a camel, and he's supposed to be a yoga teacher, but all he says is protein to everything. And every time you say it, it's all that reminds me of. Anyways.
Well, now I want to watch it.
Side tangent. I just want to, let's get right into the show, okay? So, first thing I wanted to talk about with you guys was, let's just get right into the news that Nintendo announced their online service. So for those of you who don't know, they've announced that they're having what is it again? Cloud saves. You get 20 NES online games, like they use online integration, and you get to use the voice chat service for all games, and you get to use the Splatnet app, guys. Sorry. Yeah, so you get that, and you get to play all your games. So, how do you guys feel about this service that you have to now pay for?
We've known it's been coming for a while, so I don't really have much of an opinion on it. $20 for a year. It sounds like they're rebranding Virtual Console into this 20 game gift thing, and probably some more stuff too. So, I don't know. Like I said, it's just. We knew it was coming, so here we are.
It's Nintendo. I didn't expect a lot. Like, they're not changing anything. Are we gonna complain? No.
No.
I'm like, I'm gonna buy it.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna complain. I hope you're ready.
Of course you are. You're Spoon. Let's hear it. I want to hear it.
No, how about you, Ebz?
Well, I don't have much to say. I can't wait to pay for that voice chat. That's so great that I use all the time. That's face to say it.
Well, you don't use the voice chat. That's the thing. No one uses the voice chat.
No, absolutely not. It's disgusting. Yeah.
I appreciate the sarcasm. So, okay, I wanna just do my speech on this, and this is why I brought it up. Okay, this is garbage.
Oh, it is. It's
They're
terrible.
making us pay for cloud saves, something that you should have if your device gets stolen, and you have to pay for it. That's so stupid.
I mean, at least we have it now.
Oh yeah, we have it. You just have to pay for it. On top of it all, Splatoon 2 competitive is going to go down because of this, because now we have to pay for it. Anyone who's slightly interested in it now can't just pick up the game and do it. You have to go buy it. You have to buy
$20
online.
a year.
Listen, Kendall, do you not understand how cheap people are?
We had this. $20 a year?
Yeah.
A year.
Listen, that can buy
Somebody,
you
like,
that can buy you like 20 pogos, okay?
how much is that?
Pogos?
Like,
Wait, no, time out. What are pogos?
Like
what
the
is
little corn dogs.
Are those Canadian?
Yeah.
That's why I don't know you either.
Just
people will buy it. Are you serious?
yeah, I'm telling you, it'll limit the game. People
How?
have to add.
No.
Okay, so
$20.
the game is $79.99 in Canadian, right? So it's
My brother used to
$59.99.
give up his lunch money to play Club Penguin.
Listen, that's
will
Club
buy
Penguin.
that.
Club Penguin's
Are you
addictive.
serious?
I'm just trying to say it's $69.99, then you add on an additional $20 to play. It's like that's like buying a season pass for a game. Do you buy a season pass for a game, Kendall? No, you
Bro,
just buy the
this
base game.
This is $20.
Listen,
This is like Steam value right
but
here.
you're working.
For
What
tw-
about the 15-year-old kid who has to explain to his mother why he needs an additional $20?
For $20?
Yeah.
For
Would you
one-
give your kid an additional $20 when you already give him $60? If you don't understand what it is, if you have no idea what it is.
Most parents don't understand what it is.
Exactly, that's my whole point.
They still buy their kid. How many people play on like Xbox Live? How many people play on PS4? Like, they're not gonna stop. The competitive is gonna keep going. Nobody's gonna stop playing this.
I think it's just another layer of a boundary to get into the scene. That's my only thing with it. It's just another
It is,
additional
but-
charge.
There is one extra thing that you're forgetting about this, and that is Smash Bros. Everybody is going to buy it for Smash Bros. Everybody who owns a Switch is going to own Smash Bros. Everyone's going to want to play Smash Bros. Online. I don't think it's going to be that big of a hurdle. I think people will find ways.
Most people play consoles. Nobody's used, like, unless you're part of PC Master Race. I'm sorry for all of you that are not, but most people are used to paying for online. Like, this is Nintendo.
But there's
People pay for cardboard.
It's
Have any
nice
of you
cardboard.
played with Labo yet? Have any of you played with
No,
Labo
I
yet?
haven't, but I'd prefer to buy Labo than to buy online service for $20 that I don't need.
Cardboard.
Yeah.
You can go outside and
Good
get it.
volume though.
Yeah, but I can't cut it the way they do. They cut that shit really good. This has already devolved into chaos. This is supposed to be a very formal cast this time.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah,
you
but
just
a
said
nice
that.
guest.
As soon as you said that this cast was going to be structured, informal, and relaxed, I knew something was going to go wrong. I
Okay.
knew we weren't going to make it 10 minutes without this
Like,
thing going.
don't get me wrong. Normally, I would just be like what I did for seriously, and this is being honest. Okay, personally, like this is like how I feel about certain games. I hate 2K. I don't pay for 2K anymore. I would love to get people up in arms about, yo, don't pay for this. This is absolutely terrible, but that's not going to do anything. Nobody's going to stop buying it. People are going to buy it. Come on, man. No, it's.
I'm
gonna
not
end
saying
soon.
people aren't gonna buy it. What I'm trying to say is it's still not worth it for $20. Like, they offered nothing that wasn't already offered. So, hold on. I also want to say it's a marketing issue. If this was presented right at the very beginning, that they would do $20 and it would be pretty much the same service, but it's just free for now until they get their shit together, that'd be fine. But the way they presented it was like, we have more stuff coming all the time. And they come to it like, we have 20 online games that no one cares about, and now you can back up your cloud saves, which you should have had when your console dies, but fuck you. Like, that's basically what it is. Like, it's stupid to me to pay for a service that you should have. Every other console has cloud saves, and we have to pay for it on Nintendo. Because, sorry, their service is so precious, we need to pay money for cloud saves. Because, you know, they clearly don't have enough money for it. I'm just saying, give us something more. Give us anything more that's benefit. Like, the voice app sucks, and Splatnet is like, okay, whatever. Like, it's cool. It's not, like, the greatest thing in the world, though. You need to, like, it's not like they're adding it isn't if it's an extra benefit, but it's not, because you need to have online to play Splatoon. So of course Splatnet's gonna come with it. Like, it's just stupid.
You're right. You're right.
They're like, guys, look, you get Splatnet as well. It's like, well, you can't play Splatoon if you don't buy the thing anyways. Anyways. That's my rant. This was supposed to be really quick, so we'll just go on to the next topic now. Rank X has been released for now like 2 weeks. Now we have an actual competitive player on the show, okay, since one of us is a caster, one of us is an organizer, and Kendall, you do stuff, I guess.
Oh! Man, it's making moves. Man, it's making moves here.
The last major,
Sorry,
Sorry.
You're a multi-talented person who does organizing and streaming.
Come on.
You're just the best, Kendall.
No. Not you.
Anyways,
not you.
Now that we have week 2, how does everyone feel about Rank X so far? And let's start off with Ebz, because we haven't gotten her take on it yet. So I want to know how you're feeling personally about Rank X, and how you feel it's changed things in a competitive sense, and also how do you feel about the balance changes as well?
I haven't seen that many changes, to be completely honest. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like there's always been... I know the only difference I've seen is people play dumb weapons because they want to get like top 500 with like Bamboo or something. But that's like the only real difference I've seen. I don't know. I don't think I have seen that much of a difference, and I haven't played it that much, so I don't know.
Okay. And have you noticed any changes with the balance patch? I guess not just in Rank X, in general.
Just in general. I think the only thing, like, personally that has affected me is it's not even that big, but like the splashdown thing. I don't know, but it feels like it's so much easier to kill someone that is splashdowning, and that's like pretty much it. And that's because I only play like blaster almost. I don't know. It feels like they changed like weapons that no one really cares about that much, anyways. Yeah.
Okay. Kendall, I know you don't play competitive, but how do you feel about the changes now in week 2? Has your opinion changed at all?
I still think it's a great path in the right direction. I still think they need to make it a little bit more stricter. I wish that it was like 2100. A lot of people have talked about it before. Like, I wish it was 2100. I also wish that the influx of brush users, not Octobrush users, but brush users, please go away.
I agree with that.
Go away. Thank you. But besides that, no, I think it's going in the right direction. I just think that to fall out needs to be a lot easier. Like, I would be actually happy if I could lose it, then go back into S+, try again, go back to the rankings, the placement system, and then get back up there, because like 1900 is way too low. I'm never gonna see it. And it's just like you stay in a limbo, and then if I'm at 2000 like 96 points, right, and I still get +0, I'm turning off my console. That's so disrespectful, it's not even funny. How is that even possible? Okay, but that's just my rant.
Okay, Nine.
You
How
good?
about you? I know you've been playing a lot, actually.
I was about to say I haven't been playing at all,
Oh.
so
I feel like I see every time at night. I see people pinging you like GG's Nine.
oh, so no, okay. What that was is a few of my friends back home watched the back home. A few of my friends here in St. Louis watched the Inkling Open. They were like, "Wow, Splatoon's dope. Teach us how to play." And so we went there, and Avery came over, and we did some quads, and we ran into a bunch of people that we knew because Avery and I kept attracting people who were X rank with these two people who were both level 20. So yeah, it was an experience. It was fun. I got Avery, who is Gingerbread Man 17, for those who don't know, called my Rapid Blaster a point-and-click adventure. So that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I'll leave it to these two. I haven't played a single match of solo queue rank X, so.
All right. I don't have any. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, like, I do think the power, the point system is probably the biggest problem with it right now. I know just for a fact myself, I played all my placement matches and I won all of them quick matches. And I didn't get placed that high, but then I lost a single one and I dropped like 50 points or something. And I think that is a little bit too much when you don't get that much for winning. If it's a little bit, I do think you should lose more than you win, but the way it is now, it's not balanced.
Well, I think it's meant to be severe in the sense of like, let me phrase this because I'm going to be clear. I haven't played any rank X. This is for you guys, but just the theory behind it, right? Everyone's complaining right now that it's too easy to get to S+ beforehand, right? Everyone's like, you can't lose any points. You never lose any points. And now it's getting to the point where now they're making these power rankings, and if you lose the game, you drop 50 because it's saying you should never lose if you're in this ranking. So wouldn't you argue that that's what everyone's asking for?
There's always a loser, like 50% of matches. Like there's always a loser.
Unless you're always the winner and you're on that other side all the time.
True, I guess. Yeah.
You're a loser unless you're always a winner. Spoon, 2018. You know, that's a great. If you ever run for public office, that should be your slogan.
Everyone's a loser unless you're a winner.
Vote for Spoon.
I have no problem with the system being harsh. It's just it doesn't make sense. Like some days, like literally when I mean it doesn't make sense, some days you'll go like +7, +8, +1, +2. Then other days will be like, hey, +22, +18, +25.
I guess what I'm getting from this is
Hey.
that the ELO system is just not really making sense with how it works. Like if you're matched up against a bunch of other people on your same skill level, the points you lose just don't add up to other times, right? Like it just feels like it's random.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully they'll fix that up every week. Not every month, sorry.
It's new, and that's what I keep saying.
Yeah,
It's
I mean
new.
they're going to
It's-
keep improving it. We'll keep seeing it.
I think
I'd
it's
say
in the
it'll be
right
a
direction.
yeah, it'll be a problem if after like 3 or 4 months we start getting that issue. So
The players that we thought that were going to be up there are definitely up there. I think that it's in the right direction.
okay.
Yeah.
So so this has been a hot topic today on Twitter for like the past week, but more so today. Everything's been blowing up today, by the way, guys. A lot of conversations, a lot of interesting conversations, actually, like things that we all seem to care about. So we kind of wanted to bring them all up today because they're kind of interesting. And the first one I want to bring into, because this actually directly applies to you, Ebz, is scrimming. People keep talking about how the top teams are not scrimming the mid-tier teams and low-tier teams, and there's even this larger divide, and the top-tier teams are complaining that there's not enough people to play against, and the pool is getting thinner, and no one wants to scrim, and there's just a bunch of things going on about it. So I thought it was actually a perfect opportunity because Vitamin Sea has been slowly getting better and better and working their way to the top. As you can see from the Inkling Open, actually prevailing against a bunch of other teams, beating Prophecy as well, who's considered a higher-end team, right? So I guess we kind of want to get your thoughts as a player, and then we'll discuss around all of us here. But what did you guys do, or what's your keys to success so far in doing so well in an environment that everyone seems to hate right now?
I think when we started, we just scrimmed basically anyone that would scrim us. We just pinged at here, and I do see a difference now that we've come a little bit farther. That people do like recognize our team, depending on like what teams actually reply to that. Because before it used to be a little bit like unknown team that just like played anyone, and now it's more well-known team. So I do think that you need to get to a certain point for people to take notice of you.
But how did you get to that point?
Oh, I think it's just persistence, basically, because we've, like, I remember our first tournament was Squid Sports tournament, and the first match we ever played, like, as a team was against Team Olive, and I was so happy because I got 1 kill, and I was so happy. I was so proud of myself, and from that, like, we just, even though we've been kicked down, like, we've lost ridiculous matches, like, really badly. We just kept together and just worked together as a team and improved. I think persistence is usually, like, the best way to sum it up, because you need to stick through it, because it's not going to be easy in the beginning at all, because these teams are all so well coordinated, they're really good players, and you're not going to do well from the beginning, basically.
And now that you have kind of reached a point where you're starting to get more recognized, what are you guys doing now to try and improve yourselves?
I think we've come to a point where our like personal skill level is better, so we start talking like as a team, and we think scrims are like the best way to do that, and we basically ask people to scrim us, and we have these teams that we scrim quite oftenly, so we can like see how much we've grown, because we play the same players, and we can also learn from each other. Because I think one of the most important thing about a scrim is that you think about it afterwards, and you get feedback, and you work actively on that. Because just playing, getting like run over and just forget about it and just move on won't really help. You need to really think about what you did, and I think scrim partners are really good for that, because they know you as a player, and they can tell you what you need to do.
And how did you get those scrim partners?
I think we started getting friends in the community. Like, we have our own server that's public, where a lot of people are in. We talk to them, we become friends, and you get to know people, basically. I feel like that has been the best way for us. I think that's maybe the best way, just get connections, I guess. Because that's usually how we get our scrims. Just talk to people we know, pretty much.
All right. I mean, that's some good insight into it, because actually I was going to bring that up, because me and Blake always talked about this before when we used to be on Cute, right? Like, I don't know about the free agent problem now. Like, this is not something that I actively am a part of. But back in Splatoon 1, the people that we would scrim would actually be the people that were our friends, because they wouldn't mind, because it became more of a feedback and dialogue. And I say that to a lot of people, and they're like, oh, I have a hard time finding anyone to scrim. It's like, just become friendly with people, and then that'll kind of come along, where people just enjoy playing with you. Like, when I was on CQC, on like my first team, like, we were nowhere near the level of JFG back in the day, if anyone knows. They were like a super top team, right? You had Tim, America's Last Hope, on there. You had Leo, CA, like Resbit, like really top players, right? And we were just good friends with all of them, so we scrimmed them like every day because of that, and we got better, like a lot better, really quickly. But they only scrimmed us because we just loved talking to each other. So I thought that was a huge way to get scrims.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
For sure. We have those teams like SKR and Upgrade that we are good friends with, and we play them very often. That's that has been the upside for sure.
So I wanna get in on this with you guys there, Nine and Kendall. What do you think is the issue right now with free agency, and what do you think is the solution here, or what exactly is going on? I feel like you guys have a better grasp of the entire free agent situation. I know, Nine, that you're really into the whole free agent and scrimming and lack of people in the mid tier and top tier. You've been all over this, so I'll let you take the reins, and we can kind of go from there.
Kendall had a sharper reaction to the ball being passed than I did. So, what were you thinking, Kendall?
You got it, man. Go ahead. You can start off.
All right. So, the thing that I see. So, we're all here aware, and most people in the chat are probably aware of the @FA_SPL, the free agent splat.
Yeah.
Well, so I've been watching that pretty closely because like most of you, probably agree that the top teams, especially in the NA scene, are the top teams, and it's becoming very difficult to bridge that gap. And that's kind of what started this whole dialogue. And I look there on Free Agent Splat, and I see so many retweets, and these aren't super well-known players that have just come off of teams that have disbanded, but these are still relatively names that I'm not familiar with, at least, that have hundreds of hours in the game and are X rank. I mean, these are clearly people who know how to play the game, but have no way to really get into the competitive scene. And I know back in Splatoon 1 when I was a player, we were, Gingerbread Man 17 and we were both S+ level, and we still had no idea how to get into the scene and be competitive. So it's always been something like kind of near and dear to me. So I think that there is a large pool of talent that's not being tapped into solely because of that. And I think that there's just a number of Splatoon 2 players that started with Splatoon 2, or maybe just dipped more into it than Splatoon 1, that we need to utilize. That's a great resource. And I think that the more tools we give them to get connected to other people, the more teams we'll get, and the more hungry teams we'll get. Because, I mean, they're trying to get into the scene, man. This is not an easy scene to break into. I mean, Ebz, you did a great job of illustrating something there. The only reason why I ever got onto a team was because I made friends with a top player. That was the only reason, and that only happened because of dumb luck. So, like, that's not something that can reliably happen all the time. And I think that we need to, and I say we, I don't just mean Ink TV or this podcast or any one thing in particular. I think it's something that everyone can step up and do, is just kind of like point people in the right direction and give them the tools to kind of find other people who are in the same boat. So, yeah.
Kendall?
Your turn, Kendall.
I mean, the only thing I remember was, the biggest thing is, I remember DJ said on Twitter, he was like, there's all these like free agents, why don't some of them come together? Or like, I know he's a free agent, he was saying basically, why don't they come together and actually like form a team, or like do like pickup scrims, or do things like together actually. Also, maybe some people need to, I'm not going to say like this is kind of messed up, I'm not trying to be messed up about it, but lower your standards a little bit. Maybe even though like you played on a team that like was A division in Ludi, maybe you play with a team that was B division, even C division. You never know, because there's some players that like are good and they just never had a chance, or it was like the first time, or they didn't fit well with the first team that they were with. And some people, like, I know, like, quoting Fuzzy, but like I know he's a big advocate of people that actually like playing on different teams with each other. And I feel like the free agents is definitely a great opportunity for people to actually like go into tournaments with each other without any restrictions of being on a team, and seeing like, hey, maybe we want to try this out. And then weeklies are a good time for it actually. But besides that, it's also just actually like putting yourself out there and talking to teams, and maybe even being more vocal about it, instead of just asking for retweets and likes. You actually maybe just actually talking to a captain, even just in general. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm not going to keep harping on that, but yeah.
So I'm going to break my things down into a couple of points here. First is just in general, if you're asking about the lack of teams and a lot of free agents, I would say that a lot of it just comes down to being open Like, for example, I think the best example we had was actually BNS last week. We had a team called, hey, $20 is $20. Because we offered an incentive to players that if a free agent made it to the top 8 in the final bracket of BNS, we'd give you $20. And if you won the tournament, we'd give you 40. And 4 people joined up, and they almost made top 8. Like, it went to a game 5. It was one of the most exciting matches we watched. And these were 4 random people. It was actually Bob the Hobo is cool from SKR, Delta, and Cobb. And then there was one more player. Oh my god, why can't I think of their name? I'm so sorry. But like, I would say overall, like, Bob was the most notable player on that team. And then you had 2 others who we knew from BNS, from like Team Nitro, but no one else knows who they are. And they just like did really, really well for a free agent team, as like people who never played together, never interacted with each other. And after we talked to Bob about the experience, he's like, yeah, like I got invited to their server. I'm chill with those guys now. It was a great experience. Like, I'm still with SKR, but I'm so glad I had that, right? And that's the idea, is like, I think from a tournament standpoint, we could incentivize it like we did then, right? Like, create your team name, we'll give you $20 so you make it to top 8. Like, it's hard to do, but it really encourages you to work as a team. And in that, if you get free agents who are interested and like willing to strive to win $20, you know, it could lead to people who feel like they mesh well together and actually start a team. And a lot of this too, I'm gonna say, is I think a lot of this comes down to just no money in tournaments. There's no real incentive to actually do better. Like, why would you practice your heart out if there's no benefit on the line other than saying that you're the best, right? Like, the people who are actually top teams, they invest so much time into the game, like unreasonable amounts of time into the game for literally something they make no money on. The only team that I can think of that is potentially getting anything is like STDX, right?
Yep.
And they don't even invest as much time as like some other teams who do it for literally nothing. And I think that's a big thing, is like, you can't expect people to like constantly grind at the game if there's no benefit to it. Like, people have lives, right? It's hard. It's hard to invest that much time unless you have something that's worthwhile to do for it. So I think that's a big part of it. And if I was going to bring up one more thing, free agency, like I said, you got to just talk with people, I think, is really important. Because if you're friendly with them, people are a lot more forgiving of your shortcomings. Like, what I mean by that is, if you're not a good team, but you're willing to work on it, if you're friendly with them, that'll go a long way. And I think a lot of top teams also do that, but it's just hard to get them talking, you know? And another thing is, a lot of the top... So we brought this up last time, but... And I'll extend this question to you guys, is that, do you feel that top players are obligated to scrim medium teams at all? I mean, I said this before. I think we all agreed that no, they don't.
No.
But at the same time, if you're going to bitch that there's no one around in the top bracket, you should start cultivating the talent to make it so that there is talent up there.
I mean, they're not obligated to, but at the same time, you sleep in the bed you made, so...
I think mentoring and playing against some team. I think mentoring is 2 different things.
Well, so here's the thing: is like, if I'm going to give an example of like, I don't know, Vitamin Sea or Upgrade, right? I would say Upgrade is like one of the top up and coming NA teams. You see them constantly do better and better and better almost every single week that they play, right? But people still don't consider them in like the top 5. You know what I mean? Like, if you put them against like Olive or Kraken Paradise, no one would say it's comparable, right? So what I'm trying to say is, what's stopping them from scrimming Upgrade? I'm not saying Upgrade does have this problem or not. I'm just kind of like giving an example of like a mid-tier team going to top. They have the potential to be there, but what about if no one wants to scrim them? They don't need mentoring. They just need a good scrim partner, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the question that we're all trying to figure out the answer to, I think. I mean, at some point, something occurs that makes that leap happen, right? I mean, if they're going to scrim a top team, something has to happen that makes that top team feel like they will gain something of value from scrimming a team upgrade in this situation. Whether that's team upgrade upset a top team, or they placed really well, or maybe they're the only team there and it ends up being a good scrim. But, I mean, if that's, you know, if you don't want to view it as like charity scrimming a team that's mid-level, I don't know. That's a really good question.
All right. Does anyone have anything to add to this? Ebz, do you have anything you want to add about your team in particular with this?
I don't think so.
Do you have a hard time finding scrims?
I don't think we do, honestly. Like I said, I think it comes down to, friends, but also that you need to put yourself out there. You can't wait around for something to happen. You need to take charge of it yourself and try to make it happen.
All right. Yeah. So that being said, like I said, there's no obligation for a top player to do anything.
No.
You want to scrim and that you don't want to, that's fine. But also don't complain about it at the same time if there's literally no one either. That's just my thing, is just calm down about it. Actually, one more thing I do want to add. If you're like a lower level team or a mid or like getting to that mid tier, I would actually argue that you should probably just put yourself into like team quads. I feel like you don't have the fundamentals of team coordination yet to even worry about trying to go for a scrim. Like people deny that and they're like, oh, scrims is the only practice. It's like, dude, if you're not good at slaying, what is even the point of trying to scrim someone? Because the only thing that you can teach people is you're going to get outslayed in a scrim. You have to be at a level where you can actually hold your own as an individual and as a team before you can even think about advanced strategies. So that would be the other thing I would add. Like, I know I saw Vitamin C back when I played a lot. I saw you guys all the time in quads.
Yeah. No, because we had an issue as well with our individual play. We just couldn't keep it, hold our own. When we did scrim, we heard all the time that, work on your individual skill, your 1v1s. So we didn't get much out of those scrims because it was just get better, basically. And quads was definitely a good way for us.
Yeah, like if you look at Egg in particular, I remember when I remember Egg from the beginning of Splatoon, and I was like, okay, like this person clearly needs to work on one-on-ones. And now that I look at Eggs now, I'm just like, I don't ever want to play Eggs.
No, she's scary.
Yeah, like now she's become really, really good. And so I think people always rag on like League and solo a bit too hard because I'm like, it really does help your fundamentals if you really are at that level. Like if you're not at a higher level, I can clearly understand why like a Sendo or like a Hexen or someone like hates it, right? Like you're way beyond that point. But a lot of people, they need to get those fundamentals down, and like League and solo is a good way to do that. So
well, I have to bring this one up because it's actually funny.
Okay.
Future says that that lower level teams should pay top division teams to scrim them.
That's not honestly, if that's what gets them to do it, no problem, man. I think that's a great way. To be honest though, it's not so different from what we were saying about having a free agent and winning $20 if you get top 8. We're incentivizing you to try and play as best as you can and form a pickup. So it's not so different as paying a top team to try and scrim you. I'm just saying.
Paying somebody to smack the crap out of you the whole entire time. That's amazing.
Well, no, but to give you actual feedback as they're killing you. There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
it's so great while Kipper's spawn capping me the whole entire time.
I mean, to be fair, Kendall, if you're paying and you're like a low level team and you're getting hammered, like that is one thing. But if you're like Upgrade, who's offering that, that's a different story. They can definitely hold their own. They can definitely find out what they need to work on those. I wouldn't say it's past them. You have to think about who you're talking about. If it's a low level team, of course, that's stupid. I don't know, Kendall. It's a good idea. Yo, if you're not going to learn anything, get paid for it. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute, Kendall. Aren't you a personal trainer? Isn't this like right in your alley?
There you go.
Oh yes.
Hey Kendall, you gonna train me for free?
That's like me. No. I'm just saying. That's like
Oh no. Let me stop whatever I'm saying here to just say no.
Okay, we're gonna go to the next topic. Okay. Well, I guess actually one thing I want to add on to it is I guess people are constantly complaining about the free agency and constantly complaining about not finding scrims. And I guess my thing is how can we change this culture of people constantly talking about it and actually have solutions for it? Because like we said, you need to just scrim more. You need to do this more. But it's not as simple as that. What do you think we can do as like a player, as a commentator, as a variety streamer? Like, what are things that we could do to help this situation and expand growth? I would say, like, get more people into the game who'd be willing to actually embrace the competitiveness of it.
Is that steak treating you okay, man?
Yeah, man, it was delicious.
A little rough to get through. Yeah, this guy made steak right before this.
I took photos of it on the barbecue. It was great.
Yeah, he did. It was a real Instagram story right there.
All right, rephrase. Say the question one more time.
So, like, what do you think we can do as a community to help with this free agency problem and actually get more people into the game who'd be willing to group up with other people and get more people scrimming? Because obviously, like, the hardcore dedicated are doing it, right? So it's more a question of where all these more casual people constantly doing it as well. Like, it's not. I guess a lot of people are saying it's not thriving. Like, the scene is still doing fine in terms of like viewership and stuff. Like, from our end, we don't see like a huge problem. We get pretty good turnouts, we get good viewership.
Are you getting into the part of incentivizing players to
I mean,
play?
it doesn't necessarily have to be incentivizing, but what would encourage people to come in and what would encourage people to scrim more? It doesn't have to be monetary.
I know you want to go there.
No, that's the next topic. If you want to segue into it, I mean, go for it.
Well, I think so. I'll go ahead here since Kendall's clearly thinking about money right now.
I'm not thinking.
Actually, I think that coordination is one thing, and I mean, you already know about this, Spoon, and I know I talked to you about it today, Kendall. My current goal right now is to interview different players who are either at that mid-level, this mythical mid-level that we're talking about here, or teams who are really good, and talk to both sides about what they look for in scrims, and then kind of write a few articles about that and try to, like, I guess, bring out to light the tools and what these good players look for in these scrims. Because I think that even the people who do find scrims may not be getting the most out of it. And I feel like giving teams the tools to know how to scrim, know what to look for in scrims from the accounts of people who have clearly done this, I feel like there's a lot to be done with that. Just giving the mid-level players the resources to get better. That's something that the fighting game community does really well, I feel. And I think that that's something that we can take too, is I think that there's a lot to be said for making that path as easy as we can to kind of like keep working up and find out how to practice better. So, and then someone said in chat as well, matchmaking. I think that that's something that can be done too, just ways to facilitate these scrims. And I don't necessarily know how that can be done, but just kind of like streamlining that process a little bit more. And I know that we've got a million servers that should be able to do that, but something's not working. There's a kink somewhere in the hose, so we got to figure that out too.
Yeah. Like I said, from a tournament organizer standpoint, I think there's a couple of things we can do. Most of it is involving like prize or money, to be completely honest. Is like we said, hey, $20 is $20, get you $20 if you get to top 8. Encourages people to form pickups on the last minute, and encourages you to try to do better. We could extend that to even just like lower level teams that we're not aware of too. Just like if you make a top 8, you surprise us, we'll give you money. But I think that only comes with if we benefit the top half too. Like, you don't want to just cater all to casual, because then you're losing your heart. Like, why would they even play in tournaments anymore, right? So I think there's a fine balance between the two, but I think it's something that could happen in the future. And I think it's something cool that we can do. I think it works in BNS in particular as well, because it's lighthearted. We kind of just joke around on stream a lot of the time. So I think people come a lot more for like the casualness of it more than the actual, like, I'm sure like the people at the higher end are definitely wanting to win. Like when Prophecy wins first place, it's awesome for us. Like, we love it. But at the same time, like, people come for our antics of like having someone get paid $20 if they make top 8, right? Like, it's something unique that we've done, and I think that it sounds stupid at the beginning, but it can apply to multiple things if we flesh out that idea more. So I think that's where I'm coming from. Is I think we can incentivize people to form pickups.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of tournaments as well is you look at the teams that are registered and it's all like top teams, and I think that is very discouraging as well. And that's why like Squidboards is such a big thing, because there's teams of all levels in there, and that's why JNS is so fun too, because everyone can play. It's more of a relaxed tournament. And I think those are needed as well.
Mm. How about you, Kendall? What? I can't read anything from that face.
I know.
Or maybe you can read too much from that face. Maybe that's the issue.
I think the answer is I don't have anything for you.
I really don't.
There you go.
I'm not even gonna lie on that one.
All right. So I wanted, since we were talking about this, where we actually talking about money. Vesper brought up an interesting point. I think it was last night, but I only got word of it today, and it kind of sparked a bunch of topics online and kind of everywhere, really. It was talking about saying that if you were going to support Splatoon in any way, you should support Endgame, Ending TV. But what he more generally meant was like organizations that are actively organizing tournaments for Splatoon and actively trying to grow the competitive scene. And I don't think anyone really disagreed, but there was a lot of talks about it, and a lot of people who brought up things like, well, you could support individual streamers, you could support this way, like you could just support everywhere. And I just felt like it kind of distracted from what Vesper was trying to bring up. And this sounds stupid because I kind of co-own Ink TV with Blake, so I'm going to try and stay out of it and keep you three in the conversation, but I will bring up what I feel about it later on. But I kind of want to bring your thoughts up about this. Do you think supporting, I'm going to say us, but do you think supporting like organizations is the way to go about this? Or do you think just supporting anyone in general is the better way to go about this? Like, do you think Vesper's comments have merit in the fact that we should be supporting organizations more than other things related to Splatoon? Kendall?
Okay, I'll go. Yes, obviously. I mean, dealing with like doing a lot of, say for instance, like Long Island Splat, and even just for instance, like things like GSM Online. Definitely for you guys that are, I mean, I'm an advocate for, I know a lot of people don't like it. I'm still an advocate for possibly getting people to pay for online tournaments. Just because of the fact that you guys do this weekly. And after a while, like, I know that, say for instance, a lot of these organizations will do more for the community just in general, if there was just some type of incentive to like, or something given to you guys. Just in general, you guys would give back to it. Actually, tournaments would be better. There'd be more prize pools. There'd be more things actually done just to benefit the players if that actually did happen. So, I'm for the orgs definitely getting something.
How about you two down below?
Go ahead.
I definitely think it's very important to support the bigger organizations, because I feel like they have a way to bring the community together in a way with, you know, these casted tournaments and these like more highly quality produced tournaments and stuff, streams, and articles and discussions. I think they're very, very important for the community in a way that I don't think like individual players can really achieve the same way. So for sure, I think they're very important sports.
9?
You all have done a pretty good job of talking about it. There's the easiest way to guarantee that the money that you invest will go right back to the scene is to invest in orgs. I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, Kendall, and you too as well, Spoon, but there's no guarantee. I mean, if you're subscribing to a person, they might support the scene back. I know Kendall does a great job, and several other streamers do a great job as well of regifting their time and money back into the scene. But if you want to help this scene the most, going directly to orgs is, I'd say, the easiest way to do that. But I also think that there is merit to helping the personalities of the scene grow, because I do think that that's what attracts more eyes. So I think the original point of like if orgs are the house, but the players are the people who bring people inside the house.
Yep.
I think that there needs to be a balance of both, and I think we've got good personalities that can grow and continue to grow. So maybe it's time to invest a little bit in the orgs so that like little ladder tier system can go a little bit higher.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up a lot.
Go ahead.
Because I'm from an org, and I want to dispel a couple of things that people probably think about us in Endgame TV. I'm going to say right now, I can't speak on behalf of Endgame TV. How they run their thing is probably completely different from how we run ours. But I do know that we're both grassroots, right? Like, we both run it ourselves, and a lot of it is probably like pro bono work. So I want to dispel the disillusion that me and Blake make money off of this, and that when we get subs, we pay ourselves, okay? I want to let you know that my actual salary at work is way more than any of the subs that we get on this channel, right? I want to let you know that I also have received money from Splatoon, and I invest it right back into Splatoon. I don't take any of it for myself, because it's like, it's not bragging, but it's like pocket change to my actual salary, right? Like, it's not going to replace my salary, and until I can make $4,000 a month on Splatoon, probably won't go do this full time, right? Like, it's not a thing that you can do. And the money that we make right now is like nothing. So people thinking that we make money, or that this is like a way to make a lot of income, like, you're seriously delusional. There's better ways to make money. This is one of the worst ways to do that. If anything, I've invested thousands of my own money into this, and I'm never going to see a return on investment of that. We pay for a lot of licensing stuff. We pay for server costs. We pay for a bunch of stuff, and we never expect money back from that. We just invest all of it back into the community, whatever we receive. So any subs, any donations that people give us, we try and find ways to make it better, whether that is giving Walkman another microphone so he doesn't sound like shit when he's commentating on BNS. That could be helping out, getting a graphic designer to do one of our overlays, because I'm apparently really bad at that. It also comes down to actually getting a prize pool for people so that we can actually give something to you guys, like what we did with BNS Thanksgiving. Like, these things, like, we actively put it all together, and we do document what we spend. Like, if you ask us what we did at BNS Thanksgiving in Splatoon 1, we have a detailed list of everything we purchased, the shipping costs, how much it was to donate to everything, and you can see we literally didn't pocket any money at all. Like, we don't pocket money because there's no incentive for us to. It's not a large sum enough where we can say, hey, we're going to start paying ourselves, because apparently nothing else is missing in our organization. There's so much we can put money into that it's not worth us getting paid for it, for the amount that we'd actually make. So I think these are things that you have to take into account, is like, we're not trying to rip you off. We are genuinely just trying to grow the scene. And if you think that $200 is going to change my life in any way if I pocket it, it doesn't. It's like nothing. So we're better off funding it back into the scene. I'm not saying I'm loaded. It's just like, when you start living every day,
Papa Spoon.
like, you start realizing that, like, it's not worth it to just pocket that money, if that makes sense. Right. You're better off investing it. So with that being said, like, we do a lot of work. Like, Blake does a bunch of back-end programming. He designs the website. He designs applications for the program. I do all the map videos. We do all the streaming constantly. We make different episodes. We write articles. Like, all of this technically has a value to it, and we're not getting paid for any of this, and we don't expect to get paid for any of this. It's a selfless job. So that being said, if you sub to us and you give us money, this does go back into the community. And I think that's what Vesper was trying to bring up, is that helps us. Another thing I want to bring up is in regards to sponsors. So people are like, yeah, but you can invest in like Fuzzy, and you can invest in like, I don't know, Sendo, or even Kendall, right? Kendall, who actively supports the stream. But what I want to get into,
even Kendall.
well, because Kendall actively like tries to bring back, and he puts the money back into what he does and his viewers and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to say is, it's like, as a player, you streaming is not actively bringing people into the scene. And I don't mean that as in like a casual person. I mean like sponsors or investors. It sounds weird, but I feel like us and EGTV have a responsibility to grow the scene because we've demanded so much from viewers, if that makes sense. It sounds weird, but like we grew our viewership and we made ourselves kind of like the two big orgs, right? So if we hold all that power and we got all that viewership, I feel like it's our responsibility to actually get sponsors and money into the scene. But at the same time, that comes with the community. The community needs to help us by showing up to streams and actually getting viewers on. It involves subbing to us so we can show sponsors that, hey, we have a huge retention rate of people who watch us, who want to actively give money, and they're willing to support you guys. Like, these things need to happen. So I think that's what Vesper means by funding orgs, is that we do have the power to reach out. We have that reach. We have that kind of growth that you can't get from like a single like player streamer. At least that's how I take it. Like I said, if you actively don't like us, I mean, don't sub to me. I don't like it. It's not going to bother me in any way. But I'm saying if you genuinely care about growing the scene, EGTV or I or InkTV are probably good ways to go about it. Even esports bros, even Long Island Splat, like go to the orgs that you feel like benefit you the most and sub to them, because that's how we're going to get growth. It's how you're going to get. It's how you're going to get prize pools. It's how you're going to get giveaways. It's how you're going to get sponsors in the end, is just by really focusing on that. Sorry, that was a long speech.
It's not. It's. I mean, I get it. I've spoke to Nine about this, and with watching, obviously, as I said, like it's great bringing like what you guys do and everything like that. But as I said, personally, I know that orgs are like what you guys do is amazing. Every week to week to week to week. I know that how much you guys put in and the work that you put in, because I've watched what you guys have done. But sometimes I do also believe that like those personalities that like you're talking about, they can't be overlooked. And a lot of them, like people see, like especially on Twitch, the biggest people obviously are the personalities, and the orgs, like they do well. But at the end of the day, like if you remember with like, say for instance, and Ninja's Ninja, don't get me wrong, but like you look at what Ninja did for his event in the past, like whatever, a couple weeks ago it was, where I think it was in Vegas, they had like, I think the actual event itself had about like 20,000 views, and Ninja by himself had like 500,000 views, up in the 600, whatever it was. So even just for instance, say like 2GG for like Smash, I think even like Larry Lurr, Larry Lurr is one of the directors on it. So having those faces that are like obviously like out in front, I'm not saying that you guys are going to pick up a Fuzzy, obviously, or like just even talking to those people and having them a part of like your org or any of those orgs, I feel like it would draw more people in to those orgs.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
And I'm not trying to dispute that. I think that if you wanna sub to like a Fuzzy or a Kendall, there's like no problem with that. Like no one's gonna tell you that you're doing something wrong.
That was my point. What I was saying.
And they definitely can provide larger growth a lot of the times than what we can provide, right? But what I guess I was trying to say more is that we directly relate to the competitive scene instantly. Like I hate to bring up Fuzzy, it's just he's like probably one of the most popular streamers for Splatoon, so it's easy to point it out, right? Like Fuzzy, unless he makes his own tournament and makes a prize pool for it, like that money is going to Fuzzy and improving his stream specifically. With us here, we're willing to put it up for prize pool. We're willing to do giveaways. We're willing to do things to incentivize you to want to play more in the competitive scene and try and get more money in, so that people are more interested in actually trying to compete. And I think that's where it comes from. So to give an example, Vesper runs Inkforce, so subbing to him is probably a good idea. Like he can actively promote that scene. So, and he is a personal streamer. So I'm not trying to, you know what I mean?
Well, my whole point was, I was saying like, you see how he does Inkforce, and what I was saying is actually working with those other streamers. I'm pretty sure like Sendao or one of them would be really willing to actually work with you guys.
Yeah, and they have, and that's why I'm trying to say, like, it's not totally against it to sub to like people, but I'm saying that you have to be aware as to where it's going. Is like, if you're somebody, Sendo does run tournaments, he's doing stuff for the community, you know what I mean? Like, he's actively promoting that kind of stuff. That's great. Same for Vesper. I would even consider that kind of like an org in its own way. Like, and like, that's why I say you don't have to sub to the big two, like Ink TV, EGTV in that sense. I just mean more, you have to find people who are really into the tournament aspect of it and like literally the competitive side of it. That's I guess more what I'm saying. So if you are actively running your own tournaments and it's on a stream that happens to be an individual stream, I would consider that an organization in a way. You're actively doing what we're doing. There's not that much different, right? Like, we're not that different. I don't have like some extra thing that I'm doing. I'd say that we maybe do it like a bit more high production, or we have more back end things going on, but it's not like, in the end, it's a tournament that you're running on your stream. We're doing the same thing, right? Like, it's not that different. So I guess that's what I mean. Just sub to people who are actively supporting things. And work with the variety streamers, but we've done that too. We've worked with like PK Sparks before, and we got him into the scene. We try to reach out to streamers and help them commentate or help promote their stuff too, and like kind of create this symbiotic relationship. And I'm not saying that's not a way to go. Like, we were specifically talking about money in tournaments, but if you want to go into like viewership, there's way more ways to do that as well. So,
are you subbed to anybody, Ebz?
I don't think so, honestly, but I am going to after this.
Yeah, can we get a gift for Ebz for being on the show and putting up with these?
Make sure you type in the chat. They got you.
We told you to tell me to shut up.
Fine, I have money. I'm gonna sub.
All right, chat'll help out here, I'm sure, but.
Anyways, we're going to get into some viewer questions, I think. A lot of them are actually related to what we were talking about. So I think it's a good point to bring them up regardless. Just give me a moment here. Let me pull up these questions. So, like I said, a lot of these are related to what we were talking about, so I feel like it's just good to start talking about them. Let me see here. By the way, if you guys want, actually look at Vesper's post, because a lot of people brought up topics, and it's pretty interesting to read. Just go through them. Like, I'm looking through this right now, and I'm like, it's pretty interesting. So go ahead and check it out. It's pretty interesting, and leave your feedback. It's really fascinating to watch what people have, what they feel is the best way to grow the scene, because no one's right in the way, right? Like, we're all doing this from the beginning. So, let's see here. Someone writes, "I love vitamin C." So
that's nice.
I think I retweeted that too.
Yeah. So we actually have Walkman, who has a couple of questions for Ebz in particular. For Ebz, I know you didn't get to play with Vitamin C in the Inkling Open because you're European, but what did you see that? But did you see them getting to top 8? And what does the team credit most for placing so well in the Inkling Open?
I love my team and I really believe in them, but no, we didn't. I don't think any one of us really believed that they would get to top 8. I don't think, like, I talked to them and they said, like, yeah, we're really happy to have gotten past round 1. We have, like, we need to believe in ourselves more, basically, but no, we didn't believe that. So seeing that and experiencing that was amazing. It was really, really cool, and they got there. I know there was some talk about them getting there, but I think they played really, really well that day, and I think they showed it in the top 8 too, that they deserve to be there. What was the other part? How they got there?
Well, I guess he says, what does the team credit most for placing well in the Inkling Open?
Yeah, I think they called it like the Hell Week, because they practiced every single day with really, really nice and sweet teams like Surge and Tomo and stuff. And
I like that.
Yeah, they really, really practiced. Yeah.
I feel like that resonates with you, Kendall, on a high level.
No, because that's a sports thing, like before you either A, get on a team, or B, go into like like sometimes even championships, like put people, not championships, but like even big events, like teams will put you through a hell week to make sure that you are ready for like the biggest event. Maybe the night before you'll get some rest, but they will put you through everything to make sure you're going over. That's, you know what, that's, I wish you brought that up before, but that's absolutely amazing. Seriously.
Yeah, I'm really proud of them. They really, really put in the work, and I think they deserve being motivated.
So next question is actually from Walkman again as a follow-up. So Vitamin Sea started off as a team playing in beginner tournaments and grinding its way up. What advice would you give to other teams that are currently trying to make the same climb?
I would say the same. And I think I talked about it earlier. It's be persistent. It's easy to get discouraged when you feel like you're not getting the results you want immediately. But you really stick with it and keep analyzing what you do and work as a group, as a team. And if you ever have issues, work it out and move forward. I think that is the most important thing. Don't be scared to play teams. Don't be scared to reach out to the community, to talk to people, because it is so much fun to get to know people and hear what they have to say, because there's some great players and some great people out there.
Cool. So, by the way, I just want to point out one thing. Just as a phrase to the last question, someone did ask in chat in particular why we don't do pay buy-in tourneys. We have, but the mentality needs to change. I feel like a lot of the community with... Actually, this is something I did want to bring up and I didn't point out before. I like to say that a lot of people who support us and other viewers and Splat streamers are actually just viewers. They're not actually the players in the tournaments. Not to call anyone, but I feel like a lot of the players actually do the least amount in terms of monetary support or supporting people a lot of the time, comparatively to just viewers who watch it. I feel like there's an expectation that they are supposed to get the ones who are given stuff instead of actively helping a lot of the time. And I'm not calling out everyone. Like, if you're doing what you're doing, man, keep doing it. But I'm saying there's a lot of people who don't, who take it for granted in a way.
So Kendall's smile just got bigger.
I know.
In that sentence, and I saw at least 3 eyebrow shifts as well, and the smile is now even bigger, even bigger.
And one more thing that I just want to say is buying in. Buy-in didn't work because people have an expectation that if you're buying into the tournament, it's because you're expecting to win the pool at the end, instead of using that buy-in to just actually enjoy the stream and the production and everything we're putting into it. Because people take that for granted because we've been doing it for free for so long that if we started to charge, people feel like they deserve to have it for free because it's been free before. Kind of like Nintendo Online service.
$20.
Kendall,
and it's all come all the way back around. Bravo, Spoon, bravo.
Kendall, what do you want to bring up?
No, I mean, okay, for like the biggest question I want to ask is why haven't you guys done it? You guys are the most, like, between you and Endgame, you are the most established like Splatoon tournament.
Well, we have. We did it at the beginning of Splatoon 2, and right away when we didn't get anything out of it, we were like, this is not worth it. It's not worth like getting a $200 prize pool out of it.
Can I ask you how much did you charge?
$5 a team.
Okay.
That's nothing. Literally nothing.
No, it's nothing.
Divide that by 4, it's like $1.25 a player.
And how many teams did you get at?
We got like 32. And I put up $200 of my own money for the prize pool. And it was a $400 tournament. You see what I mean? Like, it's...
Yeah.
What's the point in us doing that? We're better off just putting a $200 tournament up and saying, hey, go for it.
I mean, that comes back to what the community actually values, so...
Oh, sorry, Blake made a mistake. We did $12 a team that time. But that's still nothing.
That's, yeah, that's nothing.
It's still $2. Like, $2 a player. Like, it's nothing.
It's $3, exactly.
I mean, I don't disagree, but I mean, maybe you should like go into like what it actually will do. Like, I mean, obviously you went into what it will do already, but like you guys, obviously you can probably get Walkie to come up with his amazing articles that he does, even though I'm just going to read the bottom of it. But you should probably like actually tell people what goes into it and like actually try to see what
Well,
you can get from
I think the aspect that
doing
we
it.
want to go through now, us personally, I'm pretty sure, is we still don't want to charge because we don't want to limit growth of people who
No,
want to enter tournaments.
I understand it.
I think we're
understand
not
it.
at the stage where we have enough established teams and enough. Because here's the thing: if you have sponsored, when we had sponsored players, the sponsored teams will pay the buy-in, right? We don't have anything like that, so the limit to entry is a little bit higher. People don't have PayPals, people don't have credit cards sometimes, so that's kind of the issue that we're having. A lot of people want to enter, but they don't have the means to pay. Like, if you have a team of all 15-year-olds, I don't expect you to have a PayPal account, you know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm coming from. So I think we're trying to focus more on saying, like, hey, if you guys want to support us, sub, at least you get emotes, you get ad-free viewing, donate to us if you want, like that kind of stuff. But
I get what you're saying.
we're trying to go more that approach because it just makes more sense. Because then we're not limiting growth and we're still allowing people who do want to go into it and understand what the value is of it to go into it. I guess. Like, yes, buy-in is an option, but I think it's too early. I think we need more people actively going into it. Like, if we got Squidward's numbers every tournament, like every Saturday tournament, I'd be like, yeah, we can do a buy-in at this point. But Squidward's the only one who can attract those numbers right now.
Then
You can't do a buy-in on Squidward's on the only one that gets them out.
No. I was gonna say then, like, maybe changing it from weeklies, like getting rid of weeklies.
Well, no, but the weeklies is... So, to be fair, I don't think we would get rid of BNS because I think that's something we value in a way. Cause
No, I know.
It sounds kind of like cocky, but I feel like a lot of the teams that you see who are doing well are fostered because they've been playing in BNS every week.
Very true.
So I take pride in Upgrade doing well. Upgrade, if you hear me, I take a lot of your success due to BNS. So, you know, I think they might say the same. I just think that, like, we have teams and we have a community that's built around BNS, and I don't think we'd stop it. If anything, I think we'd actively promote it more by doing prize pools in it first, if anything. Double down on what we love, you know? Anyways, get back into the questions.
Okay.
So, Z-Stars says, my
course.
in real life friends...
Hey!
Z-Stars has a question every week, and it's always a good question.
Course,
So,
of course.
My in real life friends and family currently give zero pwes about Splatoon 2. Why should they? How would you work to get someone interested in being a viewer for this game? Maybe even suggestions for Kendall's wife.
That is a work in progress, and it's just not going well. Mario Kart worked. Splatoon, no. That's still a work in progress.
But he means a viewer, not so much playing the game.
Yeah, Mario Kart works.
So she watches Mario Kart competitively.
Mario Kart's and Dave and Buster's, so you know, like, she actually finds that interesting to somewhat watch. Splatoon, she just like cannot find the appeal to that. It's a work in progress.
So, how do you guys feel? How do you encourage your friends and family to actively look into Splatoon, and how do you keep them interested in the game?
It's really difficult to say. I don't know if I have an answer. Even.
It's hard.
I
man.
tried. I
It's
tried
hard.
to.
It is
go
hard.
confirm. Yeah.
So I think that's actually the point of the question, is that everyone has difficulty trying to get people into this game because no one knows how to explain it properly. I typically just use my enthusiasm and I try not to explain it too much. I typically go to people and like, hey, I go to these events, I help run them and stuff, and then I show like a stream of something crazy happening, like, what is going on? And I'm like, that's the whole point, it's awesome, right? And I get people like jacked up on it. It's convinced a couple of people to tune in and check stuff out sometimes, and any chance I get, I try to actively promote my own stream, because obviously, I mean, I walk around with my hoodie. Actually, give me a second here.
So I'm taking over the podcast now.
Thank you. Finally,
Okay,
Right.
so it's over.
it's over. That's all Kendall's wanted to do, is just finally put it to bed.
Goodbye, everybody.
I wear that at work all the time. Yeah, so like I have no problem actively promoting my stream. So yeah, I think you just have to have enthusiasm when you talk about it, show people you're really interested. I think the game's difficult to explain to people, but easy to get into to play. And I think the paint really helps. I think a good way to describe it to people is like territorial control is the point of the game for the most part. Like, you have to think from a really basic perspective. Like, you can't start going, well, there's 3 modes and there's 17 maps and this is the point of this objective. Like, trying to explain Rainmaker to people, I've tried to explain it's like football and no one gets it. So I just tell people, just look at the paint, see who has the most paint. That's usually who's in the lead. The point is to get an objective to another area and win. That's what you need to know for now. And people seem to kind of catch on from there.
The point I usually make when I'm explaining it to people is just to talk about the pace of the game and how incredibly fast-paced it is, like all the way through, regardless of, I mean, except maybe tower control, but every other mode moves pretty quickly, and you really have to be able to adapt. And it's pretty technical, too, in terms of like those really, really top-level, up-close and personal shooter mains with sub-strafing and whatnot, and just how technical you can be and how hard you can outplay your opponent. Those are usually the points that I try to make up, if it's not make up, but that I try to bring up if I'm talking to some of my friends. And if it's someone who's like not really into gaming at all, I honestly just tell them, hey, this is something I'm really passionate about. You should take a look at it sometime, see if it's for you. So I do the same as you, Spoon. I just kind of market my passion.
I usually take as like Long Island Splat as like the biggest, like that's the one I like, especially when Beacon happened. I invited my father. Thought it was super interesting. A lot of people like they just don't understand it. And even like just inviting my friends, I've invited a lot of friends to come see it. Now, keeping them watching it, that's a different story. But a lot of them watch it. Well, most of them watch it because of the fact that like I'm in it, like not playing, but like just support, like putting it up, and they'll just watch it because they're supporting. So that's probably the best way to get it done. Like, is just making sure that like you tell your friends that like, hey, I'm going to be in this tournament. I know Nine. I know you said that when you were in like the Nintendo thing, you told the US Open, you told your friends, and they watched you like commentate for it, and that pulled in more people to watching it just because of that. So maybe just asking your friends that like people that support you actually in general, just telling them, hey, just put it on. It might be a good watch.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I do want to bring up is that it only takes one extra person from every one person to double a viewer count.
Yeah.
So, for example, I could even do a better job of this. Imagine, I fucking run Ink TV, right? Like, I don't actively promote my face to Facebook to people that I have a stream, that I'm even a partnered streamer, right? Should be something I should do. I have a lot of friends who are nerds who'd probably be interested in it, but I don't do it.
Facebook still?
Yeah, man.
No wonder we argue so much.
I don't actually use it. Like, I don't use it, but it exists, and I have a ton of friends on it. So that's what I'm trying to say is, like, there's definitely things that I could do that I don't even do.
No, you're definitely
I even
right.
have business cards, and I don't hand them out.
I mean, you're right. I still haven't even posted my stream on Facebook. I'm more horrified of doing that than on Twitter.
Because there's a fear, and I guess what I'm trying to say is, why should we have that fear, right? Like, I have someone who actively puts their Twitch on Facebook every 2 seconds, and I'm like, why aren't I doing this? You know what I mean?
Nope.
I even have some form of like, there is a viewer base here, and I still don't do it. So I think those are things like, if you can just tell a group of people and one person tunes in, that's one more person. And if 150 people do that and get one more person, that's 300 people in a stream instead of 150. And like I said before, it's even a question of just tournaments. We get 32 people in a tournament, and then we have 120 people watching a stream. The math doesn't add up. If everyone watched the stream just from who played in the tournament, we'd have a way higher output of people watching. I think we have to get ourselves to watch tournaments and then also get the viewers too. So
yeah, that's fair.
Okay. This is a question from Lux, and someone else chimed in on it. This is actually Melissa, who casts BNS with us a lot, and she gifts a bunch of subs in our chat, so congratulations.
Melissa's amazing.
So they both chimed in and said, how viable is Turf War as a competitive mode, and should it be added to none, some, or all tournaments, excluding one modes, only tournaments and stuff? I don't think this was brought up last week after USCIO, so I wanted to hear what possible new perspectives you guys have on it. And Melissa says, I was going to ask something similar. Can Ebs give a reason why they enjoy Turf War? Help validate some of us who really love it.
I'm really sorry, but we don't enjoy Turf War that much. That's the problem. We kind of stand it, but we don't enjoy it. Especially not me. I'm sorry. I play blasters. I don't paint. I don't know.
So
I kind of like.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No.
No. I didn't mean to. You go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, sorry. I kind of like Turf War in that sense that it's very unique to Splatoon. There's not many other games where it's the objective is to paint things, to cover things in paint and ink. In that sense, I really like it. I just don't, as a competitive mode, I don't really like it because I think it's much more focused on individual play, and I don't see it as a competitive mode.
Okay, go ahead, guys.
So here's a question for you all. The majority of Splatoon that is played on Turf War.
Yeah.
So what would you be willing to put it in if it meant introducing more people to the scene? Because we all know that's why every Inkling Open. That's why every Inkling Open includes it. We're aware of that. That's why they do it, so that people can come in. And so you wouldn't do it then? You wouldn't include it if it meant more people would come in?
Depends. I don't think there's anything.
On what?
I don't think there's anything showing the correlation that Turf War brings in more people. If anything, it's only shown me that we actively get less people every time we do Turf War. You're mixing up the Nintendo clout with Turf War. People enter the tournaments because Nintendo is running the tournament, and there's a bunch of prizes to it.
Yeah.
And they want Turf War because they're trying to promote their game. The whole point of it is that they want to promote their game. In the end, it's a publicity, and there's nothing wrong with that. And Turf War is the main aspect of their game. Of course it is, because
exactly, it's the most played mode.
But why know why? Because you're forced to play it at the beginning.
But if you're wanting to run a tournament, and this is if Turf War would bring in more people, even if it was casuals, to give them a taste of the scene, would you run it?
I run it in the first round.
Okay. So, not wholly opposed to it for, like, specific events. I agree it should stay out of majors, like, community-run majors. But, I don't know, I think that's a line of discussion that could be had more, to have, like, beginner tournaments that feature Turf War and kind of market them as that.
I mean, we've talked about this a lot before. I don't think Turf War is that competitive. But it doesn't, in my structure, it doesn't define as competitive, because I feel like we mentioned before, people are always talking like, oh, no, Turf War is competitive. The better team always wins, you know? No, that's bullshit, okay? What happens in Turf War is that the last 30 seconds dictate the entire match. And people say, well, it's all about the pacing of a match, right? It's like, yes, but you can still fuck up right at the end and lose. I feel like the idea of every other mode in this game is punishable at any point in time is the reason why those modes are competitive. If Turf War had an aspect to it that made it punishable at a certain point of time, that made the best team win with the best push, then I would be all for it. To me, just the idea of a time as being your restriction is stupid. And it doesn't align with the other modes that we have. Like, we've set a standard with the other 4 modes, and Turf War doesn't align with that standard.
I don't disagree with the basis of why it's not the most competitive mode. But I think that there needs to be serious discussion about using it as a tool to bring people in, because it's what people are familiar with.
I mean,
and I don't see that as particularly harmful.
Okay, and I agree with you there. Wow, this is nice. We're actually having a debate, Nine, about this. Normally it's me and Kendall, so I'm just,
I love this.
So, what I'm going to say is that there is no statistics proven that when we run Turf War, we get more entrants. We have only gotten less entrants whenever we put Turf War.
How many tournaments are in that data field?
I mean, I can't pull them out of my ass, Nine. I'm sorry.
Well, you said that we've run, so I'm assuming you mean like Ink TV.
Yeah, we've run like 2 or 3, I think. Also Jordan has run a bunch of Turf War tournaments recently too, and we did the Squidboards entrance tournament too before US Inkling Open, and they had the lowest turnouts of any tournaments. I'm just saying, you hit while the iron's hot. It's right before Nintendo's tournament, and like no one played them. All the top teams didn't play in them either, and there's something on the line.
I thought Quantum was in that.
I mean, yeah, one team. I'm just saying, like, I think overall, if we look at it, like, it's, you know, I don't know. I think less people entered. We can try it again. I'm willing to run a Turf War tournament just to see.
I think that
Just to see 9.
Sure, I'm fine. And if that's all it is, then that's fine. But I think that the numbers that tournament got, I know a lot of it's for E3 as well, but I think that it's worth at least looking into, because you know that anytime Nintendo's involved, Turf War is going to be involved as well. It's what people are used to seeing. I just think it's worth, like you said, trying. If all it amounts to is we'll try it, it doesn't work one time, that's fine. I just want to see what'll happen.
Yeah, and to be fair, I totally get the logic you're going by. Like, everyone plays Turf War when they enter. It'll be an easier experience for them to get into Turf War if they want to play in a tournament. It's easier for people to watch because they understand what they were playing. I can get behind all of that. I'm just saying, from what we've run and from what we've seen, is that, like, it just doesn't actually happen. But like I said, I'm willing to be proven wrong. I'm not against trying it. I just not sure.
Yeah, in theory, it sounds great. But I don't know if it would work.
By the way, guys, I'm seeing the chat saying, prove Spoon wrong. If I'm proven wrong, I still win. I'm okay if they win. I'm not the one playing Turf War. What? I'm just speaking the truth. If we get more people into the scene, that's a victory for me.
That's true. That's true.
I like it.
I'm DJ Khaled. There's no such thing
my
as
God.
failures,
You
only
had
victories.
You had it going so well, and then you said that. You had it going so well, and then you said that.
Sorry, I shouldn't mention that because, like, he's in really bad press right now. We're not going to get into that. I don't agree with what he said, by the way.
Then
Just wanna
let's
point
move
it
on,
out.
move
Let's
on.
keep going on.
This looks nice.
Okay, so question from AT Lag. He asks, is the gas mask a good gear option?
Yes.
What, did I come back on it?
Yeah, it has.
Then the answer is yes.
Yes.
Oh my god, you guys are disgusting! Gas mask is a terrible piece of clothing. It's disgusting.
Gas masks are functional, they save lives, and some of the finest individuals, firefighters, wear them to go to
Okay,
work.
Kendall, I dare you to go outside right now in a gas mask and just walk around because you feel like it. Wanna know what you look like? You look like one of
Bro,
those kids who does hard style and those gifs, you know, with all the hair and stuff.
I could pull it off, man. I promise you. That joint's tough. I'm not gonna lie. I like it. I like the gas mask.
Ebz, what set are you on here?
I'm okay with it.
Oh my
Yes!
god!
I like the gas mask.
3v1. 3v1. Let's go.
Hold, at the end of the show, I'm gonna play hardstyle for you guys, and you guys can bust a groove all you want here. Jesus, no taste. Seriously, I'm so disappointed. Why are you three even on the show if you like gas masks?
Wow, okay.
Wow. Know your mans, man.
I see what we're worth to you.
Wow.
I'm just saying. Gas mask? Really? I really wasn't expecting some debate on this. I really thought it'd be universally hated.
No.
Would you wear a gas mask in real life?
No, but I would wear it to, like, a war of pain. Like, pain. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you don't want to get shot in the face, but it's not for a
Exactly. But what?
fashion reason. You don't go play paintball and go, wow, this gas mask is fashionable. That's why I'm wearing it for paintball.
I could.
It's not called Walleye Walk Spoon. It's not called Walleye Walkway. It's called Walleye Warehouse. There
Yeah,
are
and
wars
do you wear a
going down.
gas mask in a
It's
warehouse?
not a cat. Actually, yes.
No,
but
you
it
wear a
is not
construction
catwalk,
hat.
depending on the warehouse. It is functional. It protects your eyes.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, there's nothing. Next question.
Next question. You guys are wrong, but next question.
Oh my god.
I mean, in Spoon's world, everybody's wrong. So
No, I've agreed with you on a lot of stuff today.
I know.
Okay, let me see. We might be out of questions. Oh, actually, what are your thoughts on secret scrim servers?
Is this the new top player privilege? Can this be the new top player
Yes,
privilege?
man. I have a secret scrim server too. I call it the InkRadio podcast secret server. The four of us join together and we scrim no one. It's really great. It's super secret though. No one can join.
Not anymore.
Secret scrim server.
It's just top teams trying to get better by playing top teams.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a secret scrim server. It's just called a private server. That's all it's called.
Private server?
It's not secret.
Or
They just don't want to invite you
DM.
into it.
Or DMs. Are DMs now secret scrim servers?
I mean, we should get mad at like sub only Discord, so servers. I mean, sorry.
Okay, so I mean, we brought this up, but I'll bring it up again. We won't add too much to it. What do our free agents need to do concerning making a team? There are a lot out there, and I don't see any action going on. I think we've already brought up this question, so I don't think we need more to add to it. And I guess one final question here from Dylan. My question is, baby, can I pull you closer in the backseat of my Rover? And to that I say, tune into BNS on Thursday so you can see your people spamming closer in chat and annoying us. You only get it if you watch BNS.
That's our last question.
Yeah, that's
Really?
it.
That's
That
how we
was a
end the
great
show.
one.
That's how we're ending.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how we end it. What do you want from me, Nine? You ruined me with the gas mask. The show's gone downhill.
I am going to go
Show's
out and
going
buy a
downhill.
gas mask so that next week I can come on in the gas mask, and that will be how we do that show.
Nine, you're becoming a disgusting person.
Wow.
That was
We
brutal.
support you. It's fine.
That is brutal. Really.
I'm kidding. I love Nine. I thought you guys know that already. Just the
I
gas
thought
mask, man. Like, I'm so shocked. Like, I'm actually triggered by this in a way.
It's not appalled, man.
Like, of all the things that we could discuss and debate, like, I'm totally okay with the turf war discussion, but gas mask is where I draw the line.
Well, I'm glad that the price of our friendship is roughly 9,000 coins in Sheldon's shop. Nobody fact check that, please. I know I'm wrong.
I thought you actually had.
Anyways,
I love it too.
we're going to end up the show. None of us hate each other, at least I hope not after this debate of gas masks. So let's plug all our stuff. So, Ebz, tell everyone where you can find you, what you're doing, let people know what's going on in your life.
Well, basically Twitter is the best way, and it should be here, right?
Below, bottom right.
Below, okay. At Splatoon. And otherwise just, and some servers, I guess.
Cool. Nine, what do you got working on for you?
Well, first of all, Ebs, if you were to have a Twitch handle that someone might theoretically gift you a sub on, what would it be?
Geez, I don't know. Ebs with 2 Zs? Is that easy? How do you...
I don't know. If chat heard it, then maybe they'll get it done.
Yeah, Ebs with 2 Zs.
Okay. That's really okay. That's cool. Anyway, yeah, at NinewholeGrains, Twitter, the normal deal. Pretty much same old in my world right now. Yeah.
I know ever since you become a superstar, you're famous now. You casted with Jordan Kent. You were on a Nintendo stream. You're more famous than anyone could ever be in Splatoon. You're on top of the world.
If this is what on top of the world feels like, then
Man, you must be a millionaire at this point, Nine.
oh, billionaire. I'm
Rolling in dough.
This house that I used to have to rent with my buddy, I now own by myself, as well as all the houses on the rest of the block.
I mean, that's what I thought. I mean, that's what Ink TV looks professional, so we definitely make $2 million, Nine. It's the only solution.
True.
How about you, Kendall?
Yo, Long Island Splat 3. Make sure this Saturday, May 12th, please come out. If you live in the Northeast area, in all honesty, if you live in New York, please come through. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good time, and yeah, I'll be there. Also, yeah, great time.
Perfect. And you can follow me at Cryptikspoon. Watch BNS this Thursday. It's always a fun time. We always joke around, have a good time overall. By the way, yes, I've messed up the stream, Kendall. I know that's what you're looking at. And I also want to say, follow me on Twitter. I don't really talk a lot on Twitter because my thoughts are too controversial. But I air them on this channel for you guys. And yeah, just look forward to our new content coming out sometime in the near future. Like I said, we've been trying to push for more content on the site and on stream as well since we've been partnered. So expect some analysis stuff. I know I saw this in the chat earlier today, someone saying that they want more high-level analysis. Well, that is going to be a thing on our stream very soon. We're just trying to get everything put together, but we are planning to do that high-level analysis, have some commentators and some pros on to analyze some gameplay. Not sure fully what it's going to be, but that is an idea, and we're actively working on it. And some interviews with players and stuff too. So look forward to that kind of stuff. We're bringing more content out other than just tournaments and this podcast. So yeah, just keep tuning into Ink TV. Also, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, smash that subscribe button.
Speaking of subscribe,
so you can give me all this dirty money that I can just pour all over myself and use on myself because, you know, I'm floating in Splatoon money.
Dave Andrus's first gift sub in the channel did go to you, Ebz. So congratulations on being a tier 1 sub.
Thank you.
It's awesome. How many subs did we gain today?
I don't know. I thought it was a lot. So anyways,
good stuff.
Thanks everyone for subbing. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be here probably next week, and we will, like I said, tune into BNS this Thursday. Tune into our articles on InkTV.media as well. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.